Hey everybody. So this video is going to talk a little bit about this guy right here, Mark Epstein. Thoughts Without a Thinker. He's he's a very interesting writer and psychologist, and what he basically does is combine psychoanalysis with meditation and certain Buddhist concepts about the mind and the self. Because his main thesis is, if you think about it, what Buddhism is a very early form, in its own way, of psychoanalysis. It's a way to contemplate, to introspect, to understand the nature of the mind. And they've been doing this for thousands of years. So wouldn't it be beneficial that a new science like psychology takes something that's been practicing the inner study of the mind for thousands of years and try to see if they can take some gems from it and use it in modern psychology. So that's what he tries to do. And one of the main things that he tries to do in his book and in his practice, because he's actually he has a practice here in New York. I haven't been able to find him. He's a little bit under the radar. But at any rate, he's he basically combines psychoanalysis with meditation and bare attention, especially bare attention, because in Zen, bare attention, or zazen, is just a complete direct awareness of the self. It's just acceptance of what is, and in particular, just whatever arises in you, let it happen. And he says that this particular practice in Zen has been very helpful for him, for his patients, because a lot of the times, if we're trying to think about something and overanalyze it, we can go off on tangents, and it may not have any kind of meaningful revelation to us about ourselves. So instead, he encourages his patients, or clients, I don't know what they call them technically, to sit with themselves, to sit and bear attention, to meditate, to see what feelings come up, and then he explores these feelings with his patients. So I think it's a very interesting way to combine psychology with Buddhism, or meditation, rather, and very useful. He also brings up other aspects, such as the emptiness of the self, and so on and so forth, stages of development, issues that happen at each stage, and also ways to solve those as well. And yeah, definitely recommend his book. I have it right here. Hold on, just see if there's anything else that I wanted to mention about it. Uh, I guess not. Bare attention is the thesis, I guess you could say. He compares a lot of the philosophical and also spiritual aspects of Buddhism, comments they've made about the self, with comments that Freud has made about the self, or actual practices that Freud had done in the early days. Some of the fundamentals of psychoanalysis. Freud may have been wrong about a lot of the stuff, but some of the practices, such as bare attention, is something that actually Freud tried to do in his own way, which was, just simply just be aware of the patient and let whatever happen, let things arise naturally instead of trying to control. So if he had that interesting thing to say, and Epstein adds this whole other dimension of meditation and zazen and bare attention, and it's a very interesting book. It's very informative. There's plenty of comparative aspects from philosophy of Buddhism to the philosophy of psychoanalysis and the Western ideas of the self. So it's very comprehensive, and I recommend it. He also came out with another book a little later, a little more contemporary. I think this book is from like the 90s. He wrote Psychoanalysis Without the Self, I think it's called. Again, Thoughts Without the Thinker, Psychoanalysis Without the Self. He has a little trend going on with the titles of his books, but yeah, I definitely recommend it. And this just reminds me of, I'm trying to think of any other people who are doing this. Um, I don't know. I guess there's Genpo Roshi with Big Mind, Big Heart. I have tried to do that, but I haven't found it as useful for a therapeutic sense. Um, it's an interesting practice, but I'm gonna have to read more on that, definitely. I've tried his workshop stuff, YouTube videos about it, and going through the different aspects of the self. I feel like it's too active in the processes of the mind to really let stuff pop up, you know, the deep rooted stuff. But it could just be me. It could be just me, my personal, I guess you could say, um, disposition for different types of therapeutic practices. At any rate, I do recommend this book, and thanks for listening.